Welcome back, Team UWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn. Y'all know what time it is. 10 a.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. Saturday, 6 p.m. Wednesday. Consistent corn posts in the building. Let's go back to the trap house. Alright, y'all see my video numbers for the last 48 hours. I ain't lying about nothing. That Circle of Life video is on and popping. 400 freaking views in the last couple hours. Three lights on Zen. Let's go down here to our analytics. So today we're gonna have a nice jump in view. So that's what's up. We need that to come back in our life. Let the algo know, hey, he be putting it down sometimes. We can't restrict him too much because he knows how to put the right videos out too. Shout out to Team UWC. We got it cracking. Let's see. This is what else we're gonna look at. Shouts out to the Amazon. We got our affiliate link program coming up, so y'all know we're gonna be hitting. As y'all see, the last time we was here, I was at 17 cents. Says I'm at $1.01. So we got a 17 here and a 84 there. We had 20 clicks though, so you know it's gonna be going up. Shouts out to the Amazon. We're gonna figure out the 10% discount because I don't think I'm getting it yet, but I'll make sure that shit gets applied. So coming up, it will be on and popping. So I will be saving y'all money versus y'all just paying me to link y'all to y'all items y'all already getting ready to buy. But you know, that does me a favor. If you're gonna be buying something, you can give me some money for you buying something. I mean, you know, you're gonna buy it anyway, so let me help you out with the process. Ding, ding. And like I said, we got our October decorations up on our Buy Me a Coffee. So these are all Amazon links, and y'all see that they're already posted on the Buy Me a Coffee site. So just click the Buy Me a Coffee link down at the bottom. Make sure y'all hit that up. See what we got posted up on there for y'all. You see what I'm saying? Items and stuff. Here, we'll click on this one so I show y'all the sample. So let's see. We got the big and tall spooky giant ghost. It's going for about 62. And then we got the link for it. And where is it? It's on down. Right here at the bottom. There's the link. Sometimes at the top, sometimes at the bottom. So, and it's whatever the amzn.to / whatever link is. So, you know, we got those on and popping. Crack-a-lacking for you. So let's see. We done stopped by the YouTube. Then we stopped by Amazon. Buy Me a Coffee site. Y'all make sure y'all sign up or go ahead and buy me a coffee, whichever one y'all want to do. Link pin in the comments. and it's in the description and all that. It'll be everywhere y'all look. Hit it up. Sign up if nothing else.
Subscribe, gonna show some love to me. I'll return the favor right back. It ain't hard to see. Yeah. I got a tempo. With tears, I'm rapping the intro. TWP on a big mission. With tears, some rappers a bit different. Go get you an intro from somebody else and come get one from me. Better hit different.
Man, TSM talking that shit, boy. He said get that TSM intro. It's gonna hit different. Boom. Alright, so let's see. We done did that. We already hit the butter, but you know, that's stress relief. So we stay buttery. For those who know me. Keeping it poppin'. Extra buttery video this time. You know what I mean? Get them yammeens out. So let's get straight to what we're going to be watching our actual video over today.
So how do you build and start your own cannabis dispensary business from scratch legally without having to worry about the boys being on your back? That's code for the cops, by the way, the red and blue guys after you because you're selling that green stuff, that ganja stuff. Well, how do you build your own dispensary from scratch and, you know, without being a millionaire? Okay, now in this video, I'm going to talk about the startup costs, the expenses, and on top of that, most importantly, the profits. How much money will you actually make? Now, on top of that, I do want to clarify one thing here, guys, and it's that, you know, I've read a bunch of articles out there saying, you know, Tommy, you need around $500K to $2 million to get started, and the answer is no. That's insane. It's like people that say, like, you know, you need around $250,000 for like employees. The answer is no. Just don't hire that many people. You need this much for inventory. Well, just don't buy that much until the business picks up. Well, you need this for real estate. Well, just maybe just rent in a very precise area while you get things going. Oh no, Tommy, you need $1 million to get started into real estate. No, just buy like a house, you know, for like 3% down, or just like start YouTube without all the fancy equipment. By the way, guys, the whole concept is that you don't need a ton of money to ever start any business. Usually it's a license, you know, the real estate, all this fancy stuff, but usually that all depends on your budget and where you actually want to place the business. So don't believe the hype between $500K to $2 million. That's impossible almost for the average person. So in this video, I'm going to break down realistic, budgetable expenses when it comes to this business. So let's get started. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is Ty Bryson. I'm an accountant, and I upload videos on YouTube every single day. So subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, do me a favor and smash the like button. Gently though, please don't hurt the screen. And guys, on top of that, here's a question for you guys, okay? What makes you so excited about the cannabis industry or dispensary industry? Because I've gotten a bunch of requests, and if you ask me, guys, you know, this business, this market is booming because, again, it's legal now for recreation in some states out there, and also for medical use in some states out there. And now because of this, and it's being taxed now, Well, now it's booming because now the average person can go out there, get it, do it, they buy it, they do whatever they want with it, and they have different brands. This one's this one, this one's that one, and now there's a lot of hype around the entire thing. Now, let's get started into the video and talk about exactly how do you get started. However, I do want to mention one thing here, guys, and it's that, when it comes to this business, you have to take into account, guys, that it's all about the legal stuff, okay? It's not like selling it on the streets, which I don't recommend. Don't do that. However, it is all about the location you pick, because although it is legal in some places, it is not legal across the board over the world or all over the United States. Now, the first thing is this, guys. It is only legal for medical use on around 24 states. Just to clarify that. So only 24 states accept dispensaries for medical use. On top of that, only 9 states accept dispensaries for medical use and also for recreational use, for you just like hanging out with your friends or trying to do it for fun. You can pick to get into the industry of medical or the industry of recreation, and it's basically all the same. However, you make some more profits on one side than the other side. One side more volume, more sales, all that fancy stuff. So it all depends on what you want to do, what state you want to live in to actually do this entire thing. Okay, now let's get started and talk about the startup costs, the expenses, and also the profits. Now, the first thing you need to know is that when it comes to the startup costs, you need to think about one thing here, and it's all about the licensing, okay? The licensing is the most important thing, because if you can't get a license, you can't start legally, and what's the sense of trying to do this business illegally? It doesn't make any sense, okay? So the first thing is you need a license. Now, to get this license, I have bad news and also good news. The good news is that you can always buy an existing business and just use their license and just carry that out. The bad news is that the state only gives out a limited amount of licenses, which means that, however, you might have all the money to get started, everything you want to, but the state might not approve it because they don't have any more licenses to actually give to you out there at the moment, okay? Now, they're very vague to when they're actually going to issue some out. For example, in Washington, they're actually not issuing any out whatsoever currently if you go on the website. So it all depends on the state you're actually going to, getting that license. And if you can't get it, just buy a business that has one if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, you just have to pause it for a little while and get creative. Maybe go to another state and see what they have over there to offer you. Now, the second thing, guys, when it comes to startup costs, it's all about, retailer license. Because although you might have a license to actually get started, you also need a retailer license to actually sell that stuff on the streets legally from your own dispensary. Now, this license might range between $1,000, maybe like $1,500, all the way up to $6,000. And on top of that, it might also have a recurring charge every single year. Now, Tommy, why don't you give me the exact figure? Well, the answer is it ranges by state. Remember, there are 24 states that accept it for medical use and 9 states that accept it for medical use and also recreation. So remember that. I can't give you the exact figures because all the states are different and they all range when it comes to the numbers that they actually charge the people for starting this business. Now, again, guys, when it comes to startup costs, you will need a location, inventory, and also employees. I'll go more into detail when it comes to this stuff, but usually, the location will probably be the most expensive stuff because, again, when you have a dispensary, you can't put it next to a school, like a deli or a store. You can't do that. It's a cannabis store. You can't put it next to a school. So you need to think about the location, and it also needs to be approved by your state, which is fair if you ask me. And on top of that, employees and also inventory of actually buying the cannabis and holding it and then selling it. And when it comes to employees, you can pay them between minimum wage or higher, depending on what you want to do. Now, this is why I don't agree with the $500K to $2 million to start, because again, you don't need to pay your employees $1,000 an hour. You can range it between what you want to. By the way, I think the minimum wage in California is around $12 an hour. So why are you saying that you need to spend around $250K on employees in most of these articles out there? That's why I don't believe all the hype when it comes to those articles. Maybe not minimum wage. However, what are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, let's talk about the expenses of this business, because every business out there has expenses and this one does not exclude the standard. Now, when it comes to expenses, guys, we have to think about the space. The real estate, we actually put in this entire business there. Now, the pro is you have probably a benefit when it comes to placing this business, because usually people will be open to this because they know they can charge you a premium because you will be selling cannabis, which is extremely tricky to actually get into that business. So usually people rent into you, landlords will actually want to rent because they can probably charge you a premium. So the rent might range between $2,000 all the way up to $15,000 depending on where you're putting it, the location, and if it's actually approved by your states. That's how complicated it is. So again, I've heard about a friend of mine, my accountant told me, well, Tommy, I have this one client and he put one of these locations in. Well, he didn't put the location in, yet he has someone coming in to rent his real estate to actually put a dispensary there, and he's going to charge them around $15,000 to $16,000 a month, which is insane if you ask me, but it is one of the pros of being an owner of a property to then rent it to a dispensary. So you have to think about the state where you're going to put it and if they're charging you way too much. On top of that, we have employees, minimum wage, all the way up to how much you want to pay them, plus the benefits and all that fancy stuff, which depends based on your state. So I can't give you an exact figure, but I know for sure in California, the average minimum wage, not an average, it's minimum wage, is around $12 an hour, which is not that bad at all if you ask me. Now, when it comes to inventory, I have good news and bad news, and here it is. The inventory is actually around $1,464 per pound of cannabis, depending on the brand. Because again, this stuff is like Gucci and, for example, like Hanes t-shirts. You know, you have this brand here. It does the same exact one as this one. However, this one has Wiz Khalifa's name attached to it, and this one is just normal stuff. So now you're talking about this one's more expensive, but it's the same exact one as this one, but you can charge a higher price based on the entire like brand attached to it. So you might get charged between $1,400 per pound, which is around the area of around, you know, like a dime bag. That's around 906 dime bags because it adds up to around 453 grams. 1 pound of cannabis is around 453 grams of cannabis. Okay, now this is important because I'm going to break this down later on when it comes to the profits. Now, behold, guys, we're here at the profits, the most important part, and it's Tommy, how much money can I make from this stuff? Okay, it's the most important part. Here we are. Oh, before we actually talk about the profits, I almost forgot, guys, you do need to have a legal team structured in place for your business because, again, you need to make sure you are in compliance. So I would probably hire a compliance officer to help you with all this stuff. Now, compliance officers range in their prices depending on the business, the states, and all that fancy stuff. So if you want to know the prices for that stuff, you have to go out there on Google and kind of search it up, which is not that hard at all because it might range from like $90 an hour all the way up to $300 an hour depending on who you want to hire. And a compliance officer makes sure you're in compliance with everything and your business doesn't get shut down. Now, let's go into profits. The first thing is this, guys. When it comes to profits, you have to consider that you have, for example, medical, and then you also have, you know, recreational. Now, tell me what's the difference here. Usually for medical, I noticed a little hiccup here where medical is actually charged up at a higher margin, especially in California, by a little bit, but not by a lot. And if you ask me, Tommy, why, the answer is probably, you know, you have insurance paying for this stuff and you have normal people paying for it for recreation. So who can pay more money? Probably insurance, because people's pockets aren't as deep as insurance companies. That's probably why, if you ask me. Now, on top of that, we have to also think about the brand of the cannabis. So if you're going with A brand, which is very popular, like a Gucci shirt or whatever, or you're going with the B brand, that's kind of like more regular for the average person that wears Hanes t-shirt like I do, well, it might be like, hey, I can charge this much for this one or this much for this one. So the profits range on the brand you're actually offering, and usually the brand will probably take some money out of that and charge you a premium on it also. So that's all things you want to think about when you're actually going into this business. Now tell me, what are the actual figures when it comes to this business? Talk about numbers, bro. I want to hear the numbers, the números. Well, here we go, guys. Here's my fancy calculator. We're going to pull it up here. Remember what I told you guys, okay? I told you guys that the average price for a pound of cannabis is around $14.64, okay? So this is the average price. So we know that in 1 pound, we have around 453 grams. So if we divide this price of 1 pound divided by the amount of grams, which is 453, we get an average price of around $3 per gram for the cost. This is the cost, guys. The cost of the business, the dispensary. So the cost for them to actually get a gram is around $3.23. However, I'm pretty sure you can probably get lower prices depending on the volume you're actually asking for from that distributor. Now, Tommy, how much money can I make from this? Well, in reality, after doing some research out there, as you guys can see right here, in California, the gram of cannabis ranges from around 1082 all the way up to 1352 at the high end, depending on the quality and all that fancy stuff. So tell me, what are you saying here? The answer is, guys, if 1 gram, well, 1 pound is around, say for example, 1 pound I think is around 453 grams, which is fine. And if you times that by the average sale of a gram in California, which is maybe at the high end around $13.52, this means that times 13.52 that means that you're making around $6,124. While your cost might be like $1,400, that means that your profit is around $4,700, okay? Which is a lot of money. Now, Tommy, what do you mean by this, okay? Because I can go to the store and get a pound of cannabis in California for around like $1,700 to maybe $1,800. And in the streets, I can probably get it for like $2,000. Well, the answer is, it all depends based on volume. So for example, if you're selling grams like this, you know, you're selling grams, well, the price is probably lower. Well, lower in a sense, but the amount you're actually getting is actually lower also. So you might sell more money or make more money by selling like lower portions and just like pricing it up a little bit. However, when you sell like a bulk of it, you can't charge that much above the market value or the cost value. So for example, if it costs you around $14.64 to get, and you're selling it at the store, on average in California is around $1,700 at the low end and $1,816 at the high end. Well, $1,816, that still means you're making around $352 in profit, which is not that bad if you ask me. So imagine if you have $352 and you divide this by, for example, $12 for the average employee, that's around 29 hours worth of work. So what I'm saying is, guys, you could probably make a ton of money from this business. It's pretty solid if you ask me. However, you're probably wondering, Tommy, do you like this business? But before I do that, comment down below and let me know, what do you think about this business? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's cool? You think it's not cool? Comment down below. Let me know, because again, it's a growing industry because we have this little trend here and the hype of, hey, it's brand new. Not really. It's been around for a while, but now we can actually sell it for money, make a profit. By the way, don't forget about the taxes, because now taxes are involved and the states love that also. And if you ask me, Tommy, do I like this business? The answer is, it sounds pretty cool, man. Would I get into it? Probably like not. It's not really my thing. However, if you are into it, you like that type of stuff, and you're super cool about it, then that is awesome. It's a great business to get into. By the way, the profits are there. Everything is there. The entire problem would probably be, the biggest challenge is all about, you know, getting the license. So you probably need connections for that. So I highly recommend, if you want to do this, get a proper lawyer, a good one, a good compliance officer, to make sure your application reaches the entire impediment when it comes to actually having the best chance. But probably it'll come down to having connections. And if you have a lot of money, you just buy one.
I always thought that popcorn was made from corn like this, but it turns out I was totally wrong. Normal sweet corn is way too soft, even when it's fully dried, and it isn't able to pop. To make popcorn, the kernels need to have much stronger shells, and a completely different type of corn is used. The kernels on this one are way harder, and they kind of feel like uncooked noodles. To pop it's apparently exactly the same as regular popcorn, and I can put it in a microwave. I'll put it in for 2.5 minutes, and now I just have to wait. Okay, so now I have a bunch of nice and fresh popcorn. Good go.
What's so funny, TSM?
I'm thanking you for watching, that's what's poppin'. I'm thanking you for watching, that's what's poppin'. I'm thanking you for watching, that's what's poppin'. TWP, that's what's poppin'. Hey, I'm thanking you for watching, that's what's poppin'.